Hello and welcome to my channel. Today I'm making two summer projects with my Cricut, starting with an Infusible ink beach bag. I'm using a Cricut tote bag along with Infusible ink in the colors Distressed Water and Pink Lemonade. I'm creating the design for my beach bag in Cricut Design Space, first typing out the word C-S-E-A, and for this I'm using the font Honey. Next I'm writing out U, but only the Y and the U, leaving a large space in between. Then I'm writing at the, but I want to use a different font for this part, so I'm changing it to My Book. And now I'm typing out the word beach and changing the font to Vogue. I found these free SVGs online and I'm going to ungroup them and use all three in this design. I'm using the sand dollar as my O in the word U. Before I continue, I'm adding a box behind the design, making it the size of the area on the front of the tote bag I want the design to go. This will just allow me to get a better idea of how big to make the design and roughly where I want the different elements to go. I'm now resizing everything and I duplicated the seashell so I can have one on either side. I'm changing the colors of everything because I'm going to be cutting out each color separately. You could also do it all on one mat if you wanted to by making everything the same color in Design Space, then just placing the different colors of Infusible ink or vinyl in the right places on the mat. As with any iron-on project, make sure to mirror all your designs when working with Infusible ink. I'm placing all the Infusible ink sheets onto the Cricut mat, then cutting out the designs. Now that everything is cut out, I'm using scissors to cut out each individual part of the design. Then I'm weeding them out using just my fingers. Cricut does recommend not using the weeder tool for Infusible ink, so just use your hands or tweezers for delicate areas if needed. Before I iron on the design, I'm using a lint roller on the bag to make sure there's no debris and it's all clean. Then I'm taking a piece of parchment paper and placing it inside the bag. I also placed the bag on top of an EasyPress mat. Now it's time to arrange everything onto the tote bag. I did forget to preheat the bag with the EasyPress first, which would have been helpful in creating creases on the bag to know exactly where I should put everything, so I do recommend doing that first. I'm placing the piece of butcher paper that came with the Infusible ink on top of the design, then pressing down with my Cricut EasyPress 2. Now it's time to pull all the transfer sheets off. You will want to be a bit more careful than I was in terms of the placement of the heat press. As you'll see, one of the parts of the seashells did not transfer onto the bag because my heat press just missed that part. I could have gone in with my mini press if I had noticed to get that part, or pressed the design in multiple sections with the larger heat press. But otherwise, I love how this turned out so much. The Infusible ink is so cool because unlike vinyl, it actually becomes part of the bag. Today's video is part of the monthly 4th Friday challenge hosted by Sarah from Jujubee DIY and Lisa from Our Grey House, and guest hosted this month by Tammy from The Rusted Willow. This month, everyone is making DIYs related to summer, so be sure to click the link to the playlist below and check out all the videos. For this DIY, we're making a fun summer baseball hat using this teal hat from Michaels. I'm creating my design in Cricut Design Space, writing out beach hair in the font Mustica Pro. I'm using the curve function and sliding the bar to the right to make the words have a curved effect. Then I'm writing out Don't Care in the same font below. I'm searching for sun in Cricut's library of free images, and I'm going to use this simple curved one. I think I actually want Don't Care to be in 2 lines, so I'm rearranging that so care is below don't. Now I'm adding this Aloha Summer SVG I found online, and I'm deleting everything except the hibiscus flower. Before I go any further, I'm adding a blue rectangle behind the design to represent the area I want the design to take up on the hat. Now I'm adding this group of summer themed SVGs, and I'm deleting everything except the palm tree. Since this design is going to be pretty small on the hat, I don't want too many finicky details because the vinyl will just be harder to cut out. So I'm deleting some of the little pieces of the palm tree trunk just to minimize the amount that we'll have to cut out. You can ignore the other palm tree on screen right now. I was testing that one out but decided against it. All these palm leaves are in 2 pieces. And to make it simpler, I'm moving them together, then welding them so they form one larger piece. I'm doing the same thing with the center part of the palm tree, moving the 2 yellow pieces together, then selecting both and welding them together to form one piece. I'm now selecting all the white palm tree leaves and attaching them so they cut just like this. I'm doing the same thing with all the pink pieces of the palm tree and all the flower petals, selecting all of the pieces and attaching them together. Next time, I would also attach the words together as well because it would have made it simpler in the ironing on process. I'm clicking mirror on all the pages, then cutting out the designs. Now it's time to weed everything out. Since all these pieces are so small and don't stick to the hat very well on their own, I'm using heat-resistant tape to attach them all to the hat. I'm using my Cricut EasyPress Mini to iron on all these designs. I am using the EasyPress mat behind the hat at first, but later I found it much easier to use a small rolled up towel inside the hat. You could also use the Cricut hat press, of course, for this if you have it. For the layered pieces, such as the hibiscus flower that has 2 parts, I'm ironing them on separately, starting with the pink part of the flower, then peeling off the transfer tape and adding the yellow center after. And I'm repeating the same steps with all 3 parts of the palm tree. Once everything is ironed on and all the transfer sheets are peeled off, you are ready for a day at the beach. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please subscribe and give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you next time.